Welcome to Global Morning.
Death toll from flooding.
Most time our politicians just bring in policies too, for sure. If you don't say we have some more stories.
The legislature was carefully crafted to
22.2% inflation rates as of April this year. What does that say about where we are as a country?
I think Nigeria has resorted to being resilient.
Before you call the police station, before they even leave, they take permission from
I don't think there's really anything on ground to improve.
the struggle, the ASU strike.
Minister of Education volunteered and said, give me 2 weeks.
It was a life. The president never gave me any deadline.
Hello and welcome to Global Television on this beautiful day. It's a bright day right here. Wow, my God. But then the heat is just something too much. But I think it's part of the season. How did you wake up from sleep this morning? From the good side of your bed, I guess. It's so good to be with you on this beautiful day again. This is Monday, Super Monday. It is a Super Monday, of course, because you're resuming work, everything you left over the weekend, the flexing, the enjoyment over the weekend, even though some of us never had weekends because we are essential workers. We are here. We were here all through, and today we are here again to make sure you get the best. Thank you for joining us on Global Television this morning, and it is time for Global Morning, where we take you through the major headlines for the day, bringing you the information, keeping you informed, keeping you updated, because you need to be updated so you don't get outdated. And as a matter of fact, what you know determines how far you will be able to go, and if you are informed, you will not be deformed. And it's part of the reason why we believe so much in news and current affairs. And all of that will be coming on your way this morning. What are the papers saying? And of course, what are the major two conversations that we will be having today? All over the internet, it's no longer news that so much is happening, and what things happening, ranging from insecurity. That's one thing that a lot of Nigerians are very careful about. Wherever you go, you are very conscious. Before you board a vehicle, you are very, very conscious. Something happened this morning, and I will want to talk about it a little bit because everyone can learn from it. Because a lot of people are specialists in blaming the government. I am not saying there are not people in government who are not doing very well, but there are some other persons who are doing very, very, very well. Fantastic. Some of them are fantastic. People in governance, yeah. Because they know that leadership is servanthood. Because they know that to lead is not something that you take advantage of to maybe talk down your followers, all right? But what we are talking about right now is that whatever we do, anyhow we do it, we should know that at least someone is looking up to us. People are watching us without us knowing. And that's how life is. Even right from your home, you know that a lot of people are watching you. So by the time you get into governance, by the time you get into public office, by the time you become a permanent secretary, you need to do something different from what other people were doing before you came, especially places that are gray areas. You try as much as possible to cover it up. And that's what makes you grow in whatever you do. Let's get to the news and current affairs right now. And over the weekend, so many things happened. What are the things making round? The suspension of Natasha. A lot of reactions coming. Serap is saying, hey, that is not correct. You don't have to do that. This is someone representing a constituency. Why would you suspend her for 6 months without pay? Is it done? Is it constitutional? Is it enshrined in the Constitution? Is it in the book of the Senate? You know, so many things. These are two people having issues here. Why should it just be one person that will be reprimanded? Is it because some persons are greater than the other? Or everyone was voted for and they came to the house? A lot of reactions from Nigerians, and it's going to form part of some of our conversations this morning on Global Morning. Then have you heard that the local government autonomy, even though the judgment came from the court, has not come to stay? has not been implemented. That's what it means. Not even talking about it coming to stay. It has not come at all. Not to talk of it staying. What am I trying to say? Algon has gone to court. Who are they suing? The federal government and, of course, the states. You know, some person said the governors never wanted it because they would have a lot to lose, because they've been in charge over the years. They appoint who they want to be at the local government council, for instance. They appoint local government caretaker chairman, and they get their executives, and whatever come, they throw down some peanut amounts, some very small amounts to the people at the local government council, and the local government council is being run anyhow. But then I was surprised. Well, let me not preempt the conversation. We'll talk about that later. An expert is going to be joining us. If you want to know what is happening and why it has been stalled and what needs to be done and why Algon, if I say Algon, I'm referring to the Association of Local Governments, okay, of Nigeria. That's the Association All Local Governments of Nigeria coming together. That's Algon. And they have different chapters. They've gone to courts. A lot of people have been waiting for that. FAC, what's happening to FAC? The federal allocation, why is it not getting to us? Even though the court have said, let it go directly. You know, it was being said that the accounts need to be audited, all right? 2 years audited account was the first issue. Then the account is not suitable for some accounts, some discrepancies, some inconsistencies with some accounts were what we heard from the Central Bank of Nigeria. But now Algon has gone to court. What's going to be the aftermath? We'll talk about all of this in our conversations today. Now, let's look at the issue of the crisis in political parties. Every day we keep hearing, all right, this meeting couldn't hold, this couldn't hold because there is no agreement. This person is not happy. This person is angry. This person is not satisfied. But then, if there is no satisfaction, how can you be in that party? What was your reason? This is where the problem is actually coming from, because people get into these political parties for different reasons. Some persons want to just grow up the ladder and get to a very particular position, because they have a target, they have a vision. And some persons have taken politics as a career. That's the only thing they do in their life. Because there is money there, because a lot of people are cutting corners. Instead of you serving, instead of you doing what you are supposed to do, you just go there, cut corners, accumulate wealth for yourself, and you get out. But then, sometimes, everybody may not be able to go away with whatever they've gathered together from corruption. We can see what is happening right now. It is so juicy when you are in the office, but when you get out of the office, nemesis may be catching up with you, because I've seen some public office holders whose cases are in court right now, and you know what they are facing. You know what they are facing. It's not good at all. It's not good. So we need to know what we should do, all right, as a matter of fact, to be good public service office holders, all right? Public office holders, people in governance. Then the fuel, the price of fuel, I don't know, it has not translated. A lot of people have met me to say, hey, come on, Ramsey, what's happening? We know that the price of fuel has reduced, 65 naira reduction from the former price. Why is it that this does not reflect, it doesn't reflect in the fares that is being paid by people who are commuting from one place to the other? So what's happening? Who is monitoring? Who is supervising? Who is drawing the attention of maybe the people who are concerned, the regulatory bodies, to it? Because something needs to be done. You can't just keep quiet like this, because that's cheating, and of course that is victimization. The drivers will tell you, well, if I buy fuel, do you know how much fuel will take me from Airport Road to the city center? Do you know what to take me to Kubwa? Do you know what to take me to Maraba? Oh, Kuje, how many? You know, all of that is not the business of the people, Nigerians who are paying for these services. But then if you increase the cost of transportation because there was increase in the price of fuel, if that price drops, there should also be an equating or maybe a drop in the price of the fare that is being paid. There should be an equilibrium, all right? It might not be too much, the reduction might not be too much, but let it be a significant reduction that all Nigerians can see. And of course, kudos to Dangote refineries. We're still waiting to hear of the refinery in Port Harcourt and that in Warri, then that of Kaduna State. If it starts working, I tell you the truth, we won't have too much problem in Nigeria. And someone said something that if the price of crude is dropping at the international market, it's going to affect Nigeria in a way because it's one of our major source of income in this country, all right? But then, all we are saying is the price should drop. We have other things. We should diversify. What happened to agriculture? What happened to other natural resources that we have? What happened to our timbers? What happened to cocoa? What happened to our crops, the groundnuts them? You know, we have a lot. We have grains. If the environment is conducive enough and we have people farming, not just farming, I'm not talking about just farming, I'm talking about mechanized farming. The people should be given equipment, should be supported with fertilizer, with tractors, with equipment that can help them farm very well. Hunger will become a thing of the past. I'm still waiting for that time because we believe so much that this can happen in this country. We believe in this nation. We believe in Nigeria. It is still Global Morning on Global Television. And of course, my name is Ramsey Enoch. Let's go on a quick break. After this break, we'll return and we'll look at the pages of the national dailies. What are the papers saying this morning? It will be of interest to you because there are a lot of very interesting and informing stories. They are so informative and educative. Let's get to see the papers after this break.
That Global Television can be watched in Nigeria and all over the world.
Download the Global TV Nigerian mobile app for Android and iOS devices to watch Global Television real-time from around the world. What are you waiting for?
Start downloading and stay connected to Global Television.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
A Global Morning aims to deliver newspaper reviews and latest news with experts on key global issues.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Mondays to Sundays to a wide range are the latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
We're on the road to protest.
The president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning.
Welcome back from that break. Global Morning still live on your screen. Many thanks for joining us today. Let's get to the national dailies and see what the papers are saying. On this beautiful day, we have some stories making headline. I will be looking at those headlines beginning from the Nigerian Tribune this morning. On the Nigerian Tribune, above the nameplate, I have this one which says, Fubara invites Amawule, 26 other lawmakers for meeting over Supreme Court judgment. Details read on page 22. This one says, our foundation webinar, Africa experiencing complex evolving challenges, must take destiny in own hands. This is coming from speaker. Details on page 2, and of course that will take us to the big story. The big story here has the kicker which says Natasha. That's the kicker of the story. Then the story says Saraki cautions Akpabio. It's going to be one of the things we'll be discussing this morning. Let's quickly look at the riders to this story. Saraki, remember who Saraki is, the former Senate president, right? And there was a video making rounds where, of course, Akpabio revolted when his own seat was also changed during Saraki's time, you know, and Saraki, with his own experience, is the one throwing in discussion this morning. Let's just look at the riders to that story. And the first rider says, advise him not to politicize, trivialize call for due process in Senate. This is recent. Then the second one says, a suspension of Kogi lawmaker or face legal action. Serap tells Akpabio, rescind the suspension of Kogi lawmaker or face legal action. Serap tells Akpabio, in 15 years, all lawmakers suspended by NAS, state assemblies reinstated by court. Falana is the one saying that. You know who Falana is? The son and human rights activist is the one saying that. And as a matter of fact, we have some other headlines. It's going to form part of our discussion this morning. So I wouldn't want to talk about that so much. An expert will be here to talk about it. Natasha's suspension. Serap is warning, saying, if she is not called back, we would go to court. Then Saraki, looking at his pedigree and who he is in this country, and that he has walked down that lane before, he is saying the Senate president needs to tread with caution. All of this put together, you should know that, number one, this is not the first time it's happening. Number two, the duration seems to be too long. Then number three, these are people with experience speaking. Falana has made a statement, Saraki has made a statement, and Serap has made a statement. What's going to be the next action from the Senate president? Just keep your fingers crossed. You'll get to know that. Remember that Natasha's lawyer was on our program here sometimes back, and he was saying there is more, all right, to all this drama than what Nigerians are just seeing. And that is the sexual harassment allegation. It is an allegation until proven otherwise by the court of law. Okay, let's get to see more headlines from the Nigerian Tribune. And this one says, Transcorp Group records 107% revenue growth in FY 2024. Importers to pay more as shipping companies increase charges. Charges increasing everywhere. The charges for everything is increasing. Monetary recovery is funding Nigeria's education loan, that is EFCC. Then PDP to hold South, South, Southwest, North Central Zonal Congresses, April 12. All right, I think the PDP will need to do all of this because their house is not in order. And they are not giving APC a good run for their money. They are not a strong opposition. See, first of all, you need to be strong, even if you're talking about alliance, whether the alliance will hold or not. Number one, you need to be very sure of what you are saying, of what you are doing, of your seriousness just need to be seen by the people, or else you won't get the support. You need to get the support of Nigerians to do whatever it is you want to do. All right, and more still coming from the Nigerian Tribune this morning. Catholic bishop decry worsening security, economy hardship. 15 killed in Benue communities. 15 killed in Benue communities. People keep dying every day on a daily basis, and it's not a good one. People, a lot happening in Benue State. People are dying every day, and it's not a good one. Like we got the shock news of someone who passed in Benue State. A very one of the staff of INEC that is so trusted in the state, that has walked from one state to the other, passed on, and in fact, you need to see the way people are feeling, what people are saying about his demise. Andrew Eje, may his soul rest in perfect peace, and our condolence to the family, the daughter, and the wife, and all the sons, everyone related and associated to Andrew Eje. We want to say, may you be comforted. What's happening in Benue State, apart from that, the crisis in the parties, in the various parties in Benue State is a problem, because Benue State needs to be on its toes, because a lot of development is needed in Benue State. And people who are supposed to bring this development, a lot of them, nature, sickness, life of some have been taken by illness, and some communal crisis, and so many other things happening. So this calls for a sober reflection for the people of Benue State. All right, moving away from there, Abacha family rejects Babangida's claim on June 12th annulment. He's no more, and the family is doing a disclaimer right here. All right, that's that on Nigerian Tribune. Let's move from Nigerian Tribune right now and get to the next paper, which is the Blueprint, on the Blueprint newspaper this morning. A journey in service, take responsibility for June 12th annulment. Abacha family tackles IBB. That's the big story, a journey in service. That's the kicker. Take responsibility for June 12th annulment. Abacha family tells IBB. Then above the nameplate, gunmen killed Kwara Mieti Allah Chie Idris Abubakar. Then this one says, still from the Blueprint newspaper this morning, MTN Nigeria's finance under scrutiny amid FX losses and dividend worries. This one from the World of Sport, it's disaster. If the Super Eagles fail to qualify for World Cup, it's going to be a disaster. This is coming from the captain of the Super Eagles, Ahmed Musa, who plies his trade with Canopilas. But what called up, Chile called him up. All right, he's among the 39-man squad that was the provisional list for the qualifiers. Natasha, uninformed commentators, herbalist quoting holy books. Akpabio, my God, what a drama. Akpabio is talking about the case, okay? He said uninformed commentators and herbalists are quoting holy books. That is coming from Akpabio. Well, that's so much. All right. This one says Afubara bows, invites Amewule led Rivers Assembly for talks today. That's good. That's good. See, there is something we need to learn and take home from here. That he's inviting them. I don't even like it that Blueprint is saying bow. That is not bowing. That is not weakness. It's not a sign of weakness. For me, as an individual and as a Nigerian who feel the people's well-being should be the paramount thing to be put into consideration as someone in governance, it's not looking at it as a weakness. So when you say he bow, it's not that he's succumbing or maybe agreeing to certain things that he's not supposed to agree to, but whatever he's doing now is necessary because peace is paramount. Peace is important. Peace is necessary so that he can run the affairs of the state. Violence shouldn't be given away. as a matter of fact, the youths were saying, if you're not from Rivers State, you should leave. And that's not the best thing that should be done. If you are saying people who are not from Rivers State should leave, if they leave, what will happen? Just people from Rivers State cannot take care of Rivers State. I don't think that is possible. And we are all one Nigerians, as a matter of fact. So we have the freedom of association. We have the freedom to live anywhere in Nigeria. So if Fubara is calling for peace, it is not a sign of weakness, but a sign of someone who knows what governance is all about, because peace needs to be made for the people to enjoy the dividend of democracy and for him to govern properly. There is nothing there. Let's come to the table. What's the problem? How do we go about this? It's not all about us. It's all about the people. And we need to leave a legacy for the people. We need to be remembered after now. So it's very important if Fubara is, for any reason, calling for a meeting so that whatever the problem is in Rivers State is being resolved. The one rider to that story, and the rider says lawmakers summon RVSIC chair commissioner over October 5 local government polls. Suspected headers killed 7 in Benue community, injured 11 others. That's on a sad note. Nigeria's foreign trade surged to 36.6 trillion naira in Q4 2024. 4 drug kingpins bag 95-year jail for trafficking 4.6 billion naira cocaine. This one says that troops confiscate 212,000 litre of fuel after gun duel in Niger Delta. That's not a good one. We don't expect that, and we don't want that to continue. Moving away from there, let's get to the next paper that we have today. Which paper is next? The Vanguard newspaper. And on the Vanguard newspaper this morning, above the nameplate, I have this story which says Saraki. Okay, the kicker says Akpoti Oduahan's suspension. Saraki Serap disagree with Akpabio. Then the second story here says a hardship. Insecurity worsening Nigeria. Catholic bishop is the one saying that. EFCC secures 4,111 conviction, biggest asset recovery in 2024. Rivers, that's the kicker. Suspension or suspense as Fubara summons pro-Wike lawmakers for peace talk. Very important. The peace talk is very important for me, if you ask me. It's very important. Then to the big story now. Paradise lost. How Unity schools crashed from glory to dishonor. All right, that's the big story on the Vanguard newspaper this morning. And of course, this one says, I am building businesses that prioritize humanity. Asiwaju Prince Olatunji Olusoji is the one saying that. Well, when I saw Asiwaju, I thought it is the president. Okay, all right, now to the Punch newspaper this morning. On the Punch newspaper, petrol import jumped to 105% to 15 trillion naira. NBS report. Petrol import jumped 105% to 15 trillion naira. That's NBS report. This, okay, the kicker of this story says system glitch. U.S. Embassy to reschedule visa interviews. There is a glitch. Well, U.S. is one country that you don't see them do interviews often like other people, and to get U.S. visa at a point, it was very difficult. At a point, they were not even given visa. All right, they will tell you in how many years, and so much that I think visa to the United States right now will be very difficult to get because of what is happening there, because of the policies and all of that. But all the same, as a result of system glitch, interviews has been rescheduled by the United States Embassy. Saraki Serap tackle Akpabio over Natasha's suspension. South Congress deepens PDP crisis as NWC Wike camp clash. There is a clash in clash. That's what it means. South Congress deepens PDP crisis as National Working Committee and Wike's camp clash. All right. Okay. The big story on the Punch newspaper this morning says budget ultimatum pro Wike lawmakers give condition to meet Fubara. What's the condition? Pick a copy of the Punch newspaper and go through it. One writer to that story, lawmakers allege improper letter service. Ousted local government chairman mock government. 4,111 convictions secured. Over 364.5 billion naira recovered in 2024. That's coming from EFCC, Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. El Rufai meets Aregbesola Bakari as ex-governor, deepens consultation. I don't know, sometimes you'll be thinking, what is really in this governance that people want to be there all their life? But then, I think there are people that have made impact in this country. You were once a minister of the FCT, the Federal Capital Territory, then you became a governor. After being a governor, there is still this urge, this push. Almost became a minister, but something happened and he didn't make it. And now consultations are going on. I beg your pardon. Consultations going on. He's meeting Aregbesola and of course Bakari. I don't know, maybe Tunde Bakari. I think that should be Tunde Bakari. Pick a copy of the Punch newspaper and know which of the Bakari El-Rufai is consulting with. Details on page 45. This on diphtheria. Lagos meets WHO and CDC over outbreak in schools. Man flees as girlfriend found dead in Lagos apartment. A federal government under fire over plans to import Europe waste. Federal government under fire over plans to import Europe's waste in Europe to be imported to Nigeria. I don't know. What kind of waste are we talking about right here? All right. Let's just keep our fingers crossed. If you want to know the kind of waste, pick a copy of the Punch newspaper and go through it for yourself. But then, I think that waste, I don't know, are they talking about scraps? Are they talking about motor spare parts? Are they talking about aircraft spare parts? What are they talking about? The waste, what kind of waste is that? Because if you call it a waste, it could be a waste in some parts of the country, in Europe, some parts of Europe, and be converted, and could be converted to something in Nigeria here, because we've heard of so many assemblings of maybe vehicles and all of that. Motorcycles and so many other things happening. Nigerians are very industrious. So let's get to know what waste is being talked about right here. Now to the Nation's newspaper this morning. And on the Nation's newspaper, Transcorp Group double turnover to 408 billion naira. Profits rise by 132%. Okay. Congratulations. The big story says Rivers crisis, that's the kicker. Cold War persists between Fubara and lawmakers. Then one writer to that story, uncertainty over today's executive and legislature parley. A $20 million grant, that's the kicker. Oyetola followed due process, says APC. Oyetola followed due process in the $20 million grant. Anyanwu counters Ude Okoye's memo on PDP NEC meeting. Details of that you can find on page 5 of the Nation's newspaper this morning. And as a matter of fact, we have other papers that we need to look at right here, and one of them is the Guardian newspaper. And on the Guardian newspaper this morning, I have this story. Natasha's story is almost everywhere. on the papers this morning. And that's the reason it's going to be part of our major conversations this morning, because you deserve to know what's going on. At least we need to look at the legal angle, we need to look at the political angle, and we need to look at the human angle to the story of Natasha. Should I call it the saga between Senator Natasha and the Senate President? One thing is common. They both were elected from their constituencies to the National Assembly before one was appointed to head the House. All right. Now, Abacha's family debunks Babangida's claims. It says IBB annulled June 12 poll. Details read on page 5. Rescind Akpoti Oduahan's suspension of his legal action. And as a matter of fact, that is coming from Serap, as they tell Akpabio, concern over delayed implementation of Orosanyat's panel report. Okay, and moving away from there, let's look at the big story this morning. Worries as EFCC recovers 1 trillion naira stolen cash asset from politicians and others. See, one thing that I think we have to commend the EFCC. They are trying. EFCC is trying. But the federal government, see, one thing you should do is, after recovering this money, these people should be made, should I use the word, example to others. I don't want to use the word scapegoat. I want to, as a matter of fact, the word example is better. Okay, I want to say these people should be used as an example so that other people can learn, so that people will know that politics is not just coming to cut away money and just go rest. That's not what it means. I think I need to give kudos to EFCC this morning for recovering 1 trillion naira stolen cash and properties by politicians. Who are these politicians? Pick a copy of the Guardian newspaper and go straight to page 6 and read that story for yourself. I feel people, this is stealing. If someone will steal a goat, will steal a fowl, will steal food, yams, and is being paraded with handcuff, what is wrong? If somebody who steals trillions of naira is being meant to also be handcuffed and interviewed by the media so that the people can see the kind of politicians that they have. The people can see that some of the people they voted for never represented them. So this thing should be done so that others can take caution. That's how it should be done. We can't just come to the papers or just get to the media houses and just publish these stories without showing the faces of these corrupt politicians. Let other politicians learn. It's going to be a good one. That's what I feel, and that's what Nigerians are thinking. And now, manufacturers raise alarm over fresh hike in FRCN deals. Real sector collapse. All right. Then stop establishing new varsities without funding plan. Don tells federal government you don't need to establish new universities when you don't have plans on how to fund them. Rather, the ones that we have should be funded so that at least people can go to school and people can do what they need to do to study. And of course, it's so good that a lot is being introduced in our educational system, especially the ICT, the tech aspect of it, because the world is becoming a digital and global village that everyone is now knowing the importance of tech. And as a matter of fact, this one says Afubara to meet with pro-Wike lawmakers amid political uncertainty in Rivers State. A Catholic bishop decry worsening economy, insecurity, correctional centers. And finally, from the Guardian newspaper this morning, Anambra is the kicker. PDP splinter group, ex-ABGA members, they camp to NRM. If you want to know the party that is NRM, pick a copy of the Guardian newspaper and just go straight to page 8. All right, let's move away from there. Our time is fast spent. before we make way for the AM news at 8 o'clock, let's quickly look at the Nigerian News Direct. And on the Nigerian News Direct this morning, Fubara bows to pressure, invite pro-Wike lawmakers to crucial meeting. I don't see that as a bow. If you use the word bow, I'll keep saying it. It appears as if he's been weak, or maybe he's tired, maybe he doesn't know anything to do again and is bowing out. But then this is a call for peace. If you use the word call for peace, I think Nigerians may appreciate it more. But then the editors have the right to use whatever words that they want to use because it is entirely their publication. But then, as it is right here, Serap threatens legal action against Akpabio over Natasha Akpoti's suspension. Give 48-hour ultimatum. Then Ogun Community awards late News Direct founding publisher for selfless contribution. NDLEA nabbed auto dealer with 75.5 kg of cocaine, cutting agent in Lagos. NCDMB acquires 20% stake in African refinery project to boost local content. Very important. Let's invest in local content, and of course, let's boost it. Let's see how that can contribute to the development of the economy. The economy needs to pick up. We are seeing some very little growth in the economy in 2024, all right, from some of the service sectors. But we need more, especially in the area of agriculture. More attention is needed, all right? So this is a good one. Contributing, not just contributing, investing in local content is very important. But then, how many Nigerians are even interested in patronizing local contents? Our contents are superb. Other people from other countries actually long to have our local content. But it's so amazing that some Nigerians believe that if it is not made in UK, made in Hong Kong, made in US, it is not original yet. That's not the truth. You can actually check out our local contents and see how original they are. Look at the IVM, the innocent vehicles. Look at, a lot of local contents that is making round today in the world, not just in Nigeria. All right, so we should encourage investment in our local contents. Details you can just get from page 8 of the Nigerian News Direct. And this morning, Adeleke APC face-off, that's the kicker. APC defends ex-governor Oyetola debunks money laundering allegation. All right, debunk money laundering allegation. I'll keep saying it. If any politician is found wanting, especially when it has to do with corruption, that person should be named and shamed. That's what it means. Just like I'll keep saying, if you discover that anyone is a sponsor of terrorism, just the way Ekpa's name was published and others, not just Ekpa, even the others too who are involved, their names should be in the public space. Politicians, whoever that is sponsoring terrorism or corruption in this country, their names should be public. Okay, should be published, and they should be known so that people can avoid them. These people are not, they are enemies of the economy, enemies of the nation, because they don't want something good for this country. That's what it means. So Nigerians need to know them so that you can be mindful or careful the way you do businesses with this kind of people. That's what it means. All right, the Daily Trust newspaper this morning. What is the Daily Trust newspaper saying? As I wrap up with the Daily Trust, on the Daily Trust newspaper this morning, community leaders, bandits work out peace deal in Katsina local government. General Siga's abduction, reminder of alarming insecurity in the north. That is ACF saying that, still above the nameplate. Below the nameplate. Rivers lawmaker dismisses Fubara's invitation. Don't dismiss it. Go. There should be room for peace, of course. All right, the big story on the Daily Trust newspaper this morning from the Daily Trust 2027, that's the kicker. Tinubu's re-election campaign kick off in North. Tinubu's re-election campaign kicks off in North 2027. Now, all right? I'll keep saying it. The first day any politician gets into office, that day they start preparing for the next election. You can see El-Rufai meets Aregbesola Bakari in Lagos, Atiku in Abuja. All right, El-Rufai is doing a lot of underground. President's son intensifies Ramadan visit. I saw one of the video where he visited someone, and you need to see the acceptance. All right, stop tarnishing Abacha's image over June 12. Family tells IBB. This one says how Kwara Miyetti Allah leader was killed. And finally, from the Daily Trust newspaper this morning, kidnappers fed us with Gary. Free Benue Varsity students are the ones saying kidnappers fed us with Gary. The students were abducted in Benue State, and after their release, they came up with this testimony. What is being done? The insecurity situation is eating deep into the fabric of the nation on a daily basis. We're not saying the security operatives are not doing anything. We're not saying the service chiefs are not trying, but I think more needs to be done. And above all, everyone should be security conscious. If you know anyone who is into this terrorism, let the authorities know. Your name won't be called. If you know anyone around you, you can report to the vigilantes. All right, they can take it up from there. Let's make sure we sanitize our environment and get rid of this nuisance and unscrupulous elements that have constituted insecurity, that have constituted danger to the people around, to the community, to the states, to the nation as a whole. Many thanks for staying with us on Global Morning this day. The newspaper review has come to an end. We'll go on a quick break. After this break, we'll return at the top of the hour, 8 o'clock, and that's going to be time for the newspaper. The newspaper is over. Time for the AM news. I beg your pardon. AM news coming on your way at 8 a.m. And after that, the first conversation will come your way. My name is Ramsey Enoch. We will return after this break.
That global television can be watched in Nigeria and all over the world.
Download the Global TV Nigerian mobile app for Android and iOS devices to watch global television real-time from around the world. What are you waiting for?
Start downloading and stay connected to Global Television.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
A Global Morning aims to deliver newspaper reviews, latest news with experts on key global issues,
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and international.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Mondays to Sundays to a wide range of the latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
We're on the road to protest.
The president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning. Do you know that global television can be watched in Nigeria and all over the world?
Download the Global TV Nigerian mobile app for Android and iOS devices to watch global television real-time from around the world. What are you waiting for?
Start downloading and stay connected to global television.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
A Global Morning aims to deliver newspaper reviews and latest news with experts on key global issues.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Mondays to Sundays to a wide range of the latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
We're on the road to protest.
The president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning.
Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to the AM News on Global Television. Coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja, I am Ramsey Enoch. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. You can download the Global TV Nigerian mobile app for Android and iOS devices to keep track of our broadcast. The governor of Rivers State, Siminalaya Fubara, has invited the State House of Assembly, led by Martin Amaule, to a meeting. This follows the governor's receipt of the certified true copy of the Supreme Court judgment on the political unrest in the state. The governor made this invitation in a letter from the office of the secretary to the state government, Dr. Tammy Danagogo, addressed to Martin Amaule as Speaker of the Rivers State House of Assembly. The federal government's ambitious efforts to overhaul the nation's tax laws have moved a step closer to reality, following the submission of over 200 memoranda by diverse stakeholders to Senate and House of Representatives. The National Assembly's public hearing, which saw the participation of various interest groups, marked a pivotal moment in the country's quest to reform its tax system. And the federal government has adopted Tai Solarin University of Education in Ijagun, Ogun State as the federal university. Established by Ogun State government in 2005, the institution holds the distinguished position as Nigeria's first specialized university of education. It was named after Dr. Tai Solarin, as a revered activist and the founder of Mayflower School in Ikenne. As federal institution, Tai Solarin University of Education will be the first federally owned tertiary school in Ogun East Senatorial District. The Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project has called on Senate President Godswill Akpabio to immediately reverse the suspension of Senator Natasha Akpoti-Oduahan. The organization described it as patently unlawful and a violation of her rights to freedom of expression. Natasha was suspended for 6 months last week following allegations of speaking without permission and refusing to occupy her new seat in the Senate chamber. The First Lady, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, has honored women globally for their resilience, hard work, and achievement in celebration of the 2025 International Women's Day. The theme for the 2025 International Women's Day is for all women and girls, rights, equality, and empowerment. In her message to commemorate the occasion, Tinubu encouraged women to cherish, support, one another. Owerri Zonal Chairman of the All Progressive Congress, that is APC, Paul Okpara, and Imo State Chairman of Action Democratic Party, that is ADP, Uzom Mezie, has resigned from their respective parties, along with other political chieftains and supporters. They announced their decision to align with a new movement focused on good governance and community development. Here is Amarachi Ibe's report.
At a press conference in Owerri, the state capital, Kajet Andug, the spokesperson for the Mazi organization, commended President Bola Tinubu for what he described as purposeful leadership and reaffirmed support for Governor Hope Uzodinma's administration. He emphasized the group's commitment to improving the lives of Imo people.
May we use this opportunity to express our profound gratitude to the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and the Governor of the state, Senator Hope Uzodinma, for their commitment to a secured and prosperous Nigeria. As we officially welcome prominent political players from various political parties in the state into our fold, their decision to align with the Mazi organization is a clear indication of our shared vision for a better Imo State.
Speaking on behalf of the other defectors, Paul Okpara, Owerri Zonal Chairman of the APC, and Uzom Mezie, Imo State Chairman of the ADP, lauded the Mazi organization for its non-partisan vision for a better Imo State.
Today, I have decided to quit APC for reasons, personal reasons. I believe it is time for me to make a move to find other places where I can serve the state, and the best place is to join this trade.
Delighted to stand before you and ask to you that ADP, we want to take home, we are going to support it, we are going to help it.
With more politicians making similar move, the group says it remains dedicated to fostering inclusive governance and advancing community development. From Owerri, Amarachi Ibe, reporting for Global TV News.
Imo State Governor Hope Uzodinma has described the establishment of the Southeast Development Commission by President Bola Tinubu as a crucial step towards addressing the challenges of the region, which previous administration overlooked. The governor stated this while receiving the chairman and board member of the commission, led by its chairman Emeka Nwogo and managing director and CEO Mark Okoye at the government house in Owerri. Again, Amarachi Ibe completes this report.
Welcoming the delegation, Governor Uzodinma commended President Tinubu for setting up the commission and congratulated the board members on their appointments. He pledged his administration's full support to ensure the success of the commission's mission in the southeast.
I see this as an opportunity from federal government to relieve the people of southeast the agony and sufferings occasioned by that ugly incident. On behalf of the people of Southeast region, particularly the Forum of Governors which I share, will continue to be grateful to him.
In response, the SEDC board members emphasized their commitment to fostering economic growth and infrastructural development in the region. They outlined their ambitious plan to transform the Southeast into a major investment destination in Africa, with a target of increasing the region's investment portfolio from $40 billion to $200 billion by the year 2030.
We are also here today to show appreciation and support to Your Excellency and the people of Imo State for your unwavering support in making SEDC a reality. This visit serves as a foundation for extensive stakeholders' engagement in shaping the Commission's operation and intervention priorities.
We want to make the Southeast, working closely with you, Your Excellency, and all the other governors, the preferred destination for investments. We want to grow this Southeast economy from a $40 billion economy to a $200 billion economy in 10 years.
The visit signifies a renewed partnership between the SEDC and the Imo State government as both parties work towards accelerating economic transformation in the region. From Government House, Owerri, Amarachi Ibe, reporting for Global TV News.
The Chief Judge of the Federal High Court in Abuja, Justice John Soho, has resigned the case of the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, to another judge. Kanu had requested the recusal of Justice Binta Nyako, the judge presiding over the 7-count terrorism charge brought against him by the federal government, while Justice Nyako recused herself from the trial and transferred the case file to the Chief Judge for reassignment. The case file was, however, reassigned to her again. The Association of Local Government of Nigeria has taken legal action against the federal government on the implementation of local government autonomy. ALGON is demanding the inclusion of local government councils in the Federation Account Allocation Committee. ALGON's Secretary General, Mohammed Abubakar, confirmed the suit, saying it was to ensure that local governments receive direct disbursements from the Federation as directed by the Supreme Court. In a recent operation, the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency uncovered a shipment of cannabis-infused candies for sale in children's store in Lagos. The agency spokesperson, Femi Babafemi, revealed this in a post on X. Babafemi revealed that the candies, which were imported and branded as sweet treat for children, were found to contain a potent strain of cannabis, raising serious concern about the safety of children's snacks. Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has announced that aviation regulators will visit the state next week for a site inspection and review of the proposed Lekki International Airport ahead of construction. The project, subject to foreign exchange rates, was initially estimated to cost over 170 billion naira in its first phase. Sanwo-Olu reaffirmed his administration's commitment to delivering the airport and other key infrastructural projects across the state. The governor emphasized that this project will drive future investment in Lagos. You are watching the live broadcast of the AM News. When the AM News returns, more stories will be coming on your way. Stay with us. We'll return after this break.
Do you know that Global Television can be watched in Nigeria and all over the world?
Download the Global TV Nigerian mobile app for Android and iOS devices to watch Global Television real-time from around the world. What are you waiting for?
Start downloading and stay connected to Global Television.
Welcome back. Nigeria UAE to hold talks on visa restriction. We have those details coming on your way now from the foreign scene, as more stories from business and sports segment are for you right away. Now, from the world of business, the federal government has decried the counterfeiting of original made in Nigeria products, stressing that local manufacturers of high-quality products are losing out in the market to counterfeited Nigerian products brought through smuggling. The Minister of State for Industry, Trade and Investment, Senator John Eno, who was on a tour of the Standard Organization of Nigeria laboratories in Lagos, described his experience as terrible. The Minister Industrial Tour, which was a move to promote industrial growth and foster innovation, spanned through days, taking him to some other industries in the southwest under his ministry. Nigeria and the United Arab Emirates, that is UAE, are set to hold talks in the coming days to address the persistent challenges Nigerians face in obtaining visas. The talks aim to resolve concerns over visa restriction and strengthen diplomatic and economic ties between both nations. The decision was reached during a courtesy visit by Salem Said Al-Mansi, the Emirate ambassador to Nigeria, to Bianca Odumegu Ojukwu, Minister of State for Foreign Affairs, at the Tafawa Balewa House in Abuja. Booming cocoa prices are stirring interest in turning Nigeria into a bigger player in the sector, with hopes of changing and challenging top producers Ivory Coast and Ghana, where crops have been ravaged by climate change and disease. Nigeria has struggled to diversify its oil-dependent economy, but investors have taken another look at cocoa beans after a global price soar to a record of $12,000 per ton in December. Patrick Adebola, Executive Director at the Cocoa Research Institute of Nigeria, says more than a dozen local firms have addressed interest in investing in or expanding their production this year, while the British government's development finance arm recently invested $40.5 million into Nigerian agro-businesses. China says it will slap tariff on Canadian products, including rapeseed oil and pork, after a Beijing probe into levies imposed by Ottawa on Chinese goods last year. Beijing's Commerce Ministry said it will hit imported rapeseed oil cakes and peas from Canada with a 100% tariff. Aquatic products and pork will face a 25% levy, Beijing says. The measures will come into effect on March 20. Investors in stock markets traded a total of 1.818 billion shares worth 47.226 billion naira in 64,222 transactions this week on the floor of the Nigerian Exchange Limited, NGX. NGX, in its weekly report in Lagos, said this was in contrast to 1.848 billion shares worth 51.387 billion naira that exchanged hands last week in 63.90 deals. Consequently, the value of transactions traded by investors on the exchange declined by 8.81%. And now on the foreign scene, South African government says it will not take part in the counter-production megaphone diplomacy following a fresh social media post by the United States President Donald Trump, repeating his claim that Pretoria was confiscating lands. Trump extended his invitation to relocate those he said were seeking to flee South Africa for reason of safety to all farmers and offered them citizenship. South Africa had previously said Trump has misunderstood the country's Land Exploration Act. The Democratic Republic of Congo government has offered a reward of $5 million for help arresting 3 leaders of a rebel group which has seized much of the east of the country this year. Cornel Nangaa, a former head of Democratic Republic of Congo's Electoral Commission, now leads the Congo River Alliance, which includes the M23 rebel group. He has addressed large rallies in the city under the group's control. The bounty is also on offer for M23 leaders Sultani Mekanga and Bertrand Bisimwa. Germany's conservative election winner Friedrich Merz says he's agreed on tough restriction on irregular immigrants in talks with him is likely to feature in his government's parties. Europe's biggest economic world rejects undocumented migrants at its border, including asylum seekers, after days spent hammering out key policy compromises. The 2 big tent parties plan to now move into full-fledged talks with the aim of building a grand coalition government next month. The Ukraine country's emergency service says Russian strike overnight had killed at least 12 people in eastern Ukraine days ahead of talks in Saudi Arabia between U.S. and Ukrainian negotiators aimed at a truce. A Russian assault hit the central Drophilia in Ukraine's Donetsk region. Separately, the Kyiv region military head Oleg Snegubov says one person was killed in a drone attack and 7 others wounded early Saturday in the city of Bogotkiv. 6 people died and hundreds were evacuated in the Argentine port city of Bahia Blanca as torrential rains flooded homes and hospitals, destroyed roads and forced authorities to cut power. 8 hours of non-stop rain left the city of 250,000 people largely underwater and forced authorities to evacuate the Jospena hospital. Images show medical personnel evacuating babies from the hospital's neonatal unit, and the army was deployed to assist in rescue efforts. And now from the world of sport, Rivers United narrow have the gap at the top of the Nigerian Premier Football League to 8 points after they defeated Niger Tornadoes, while leaders Remo Stars suffer 2-1 defeat at Bendel Insurance. The Port Harcourt side moved to 46 points from 28 matches after Samson Obi struck the winner in the 83rd minute against Niger Tornadoes at the Adekie Amesiamaka Stadium. Meanwhile, table toppers Remo Stars stumble on their travels, falling 2-1 to Bendel Insurance in Benin City. Despite the setback, Daniel Ogundede's men remain in control of the title race with 54 points from their fixtures. Nigeria's under-17 girls Flamingo have defeated their host South Africa's Botswana 3-1 to put a firm leg in the final round of the qualification series for this year's FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup finals. A 4-goal scorer at the FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup in the Dominican Republic last week, Shakirat Moshood finished with a bomb in the 20th minute to put the 2022 FIFA World Cup bronze medal list ahead at the Lucas Masterpiece Morip in Pretoria before Harmony Chidi, who scored 13 goals in the qualifying series for last year's final, made no mistake from 6 yards as Nigeria was awarded a penalty. Botswana kept the Flamingos in their sights when they also converted a penalty 2 minutes after the break, courtesy of Malebana, but the prolific Harmony Chidi took Nigeria out of South Africa's sight with a 3rd goal in the 68th minute. Novak Djokovic has suffered his 3rd straight defeat as Dutch local loser Botic van der Zandschulp pulled off a shock victory in the 2nd round at Indian Wells. The 7th seed lost 6-2 or 3-6-6, 6-1 to the world number 85 in a subdued performance. Since memorially beating Carlos Alcaraz in the Australian Open quarterfinals, the 27-year-old has lost to Alexander Alvarez in a semi-final in Melbourne, Matteo Berrettini in Doha, and now Van Dijk in Zandschulp. We end AM News with this now, that we are on all social media platforms, and you can also download the Global Television app on the Android store and of course on AIS store. This is the size of the AM News for this morning, and don't forget that we will always broadcast on DSTV channel 365 and StarTimes channel 276, and you can also follow us on all our social media platforms now showing on your screen using at Global TV NG. You can download the Global TV Nigerian app for Android and iOS devices to keep track of our broadcast. I am Ramsey Enoch. Thank you for watching.
know that global television can be watched in Nigeria and all over the world.
Download the Global TV Nigerian mobile app for Android and iOS devices to watch global television real-time from around the world. What are you waiting for?
Start downloading and stay connected to global television.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
A Global Morning aims to deliver newspaper reviews and latest news with experts on key global issues.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Mondays to Sundays to a wide range of the latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
We're on the road to protest. The president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning. know that Global Television can be watched in Nigeria and all over the world.
Download the Global TV Nigerian mobile app for Android and iOS devices to watch Global Television real-time from around the world. What are you waiting for?
Start downloading and stay connected to Global Television.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
A Global Morning aims to deliver newspaper reviews and latest news with experts on key global issues.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and international.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Mondays to Sundays to a wide range of the latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
We're on the road to protest. The president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning. Do you know that global television can be watched in Nigeria and all over the world?
Download the Global TV Nigerian mobile app for Android and iOS devices to watch global television real-time from around the world. What are you waiting for?
Start downloading and stay connected to global television.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
A Global Morning aims to deliver newspaper reviews and latest news with experts on key global issues.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and international.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Mondays to Sundays to a wide range of the latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
We're on the road to protest. The president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning.
A beautiful welcome from the news, of course, as it is right now. So many things happening from the polity, and we can't claim ignorance of the developments from the Akpabio-Natasha crisis at the National Assembly. The suspension, a lot of people have said so many things. Natasha's lawyer was here on our program here, and I was speaking with him, and he said so many things. And of course, a lot transpired at the National Assembly when she went to submit the petition, and so much reactions coming from Nigerians. And of course, Akpabio, as a matter of fact, is from the Niger Delta region, and of course, Natasha is from Kogi Central. But then, this is one Nigerian, and people have been saying so many things that these are two people representing two different constituencies. One has been made a leader of the other senators and all of that. But what about the allegation that, like the lawyer said, it's not all about just the seat alone, but the sexual allegation and harassment that came into it. Today, joining me on the conversation, I told you I'll have someone join me as we talk about that, because not just that, remember that Serap has said to Akpabio that if you don't call back Natasha from suspension, we will file a legal suit, a lawsuit, we'll go to court. That is Serap for you. Okay? Now, other people, Saraki has spoken. Saraki have also said, well, this has to be done with caution. And videos making round, you know, concerning what has transpired in the past at the National Assembly. Right, let's talk about it. Developments coming from this story on a daily basis on social media, on the papers, on almost all the papers this morning. What we have is Natasha, and reactions coming from Nigeria. More reactions from another perspective this morning is my guest in the studio this morning will bring his own perspective to the whole story. And I have the National President of the Niger Delta Progressive Youth Leadership Foundation in the person of Adam Mabo. It's good to have you join us this morning on Global Television. This is Global Morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning. Thank you. God bless you.
Well, as a matter of fact, there were reactions from some women in Akwa Ibom State, and people investigated and said, well, some of the women were even asked, and they said, well, they don't know what is happening, but all they are saying is that the man is a good man and all of that. Who is the man? Some of them did. So a lot of drama happening. That's by the way. And now, looking at reactions coming from the National Assembly. The National Assembly is one place that people hold at a very high esteem. What do you make of this drama and the allegation, the seat saga, everything? What do you make of it?
First of all, I thank all Nigerians, and most importantly, we must all realize that Nigeria belongs to everybody, and we must also respect the rules of law. You see, the issues of Natasha, Senator Natasha Akpabio, the senator representing the Kogi Central District. If you look at issue, she raised a very fundamental issue. And if you can agree with me that a lot of people are just discussing the issues based on sentiment. There are issues, you must look at those issues. Yes, there are Senate rule. Even though there are Senate rule, how will you expect somebody, a senator? One thing that I always look at these Nigerian senators, that immediately the House elected you to become Senate President, you become like you are the lord of everybody. But you didn't remember that you all were elected at the same process. It's the how that make you become senator. And every senator have a right to defend their people, because they are there to defend their senatorial district of their own people. They are representing people. They are not just alone. So looking at the issues of sitting arrangement, on my own area of looking at it is that it is the clerk of the house who were being delegated to do so. Even at that, the people could have wait and give her signal or pre-inform her before the plenary Somebody just come prepared to come and defend the people in the Senate. The minute you come, you were being embarrassed that this is not your seat, you must go to another place before you be allowed to speak. It look embarrassing. If to say they inform her untimely, that pre-inform her about the sitting arrangement, immediately she come to the Senate House, she could have gone straight to that sitting arrangement, the new seat they prepared for her. But the present Senate President, Chief Godswill Akpabio, also forgotten that the same thing happened when Bukola Saraki was the Senate President then. He also challenged Bukola Saraki. Did anybody suspended him? So we are looking at what the part of the Senate Committee of Ethics and Privilege and Public Petition. Look at the way they quickly do investigation. Somebody raised a motion that somebody is trying to intimidate her, and also for sexual advancement, because she refused. The person is suppressing her. You know, in every social action, there is cause. What we expected the Senate to understand is that you did not investigate the allegation that says she was sexually harassed by the Senate President. The same person that had been accused, the accuser is the one that's still presiding over the matter. What justice are you talking about there? What fairness are you talking about there? So sometimes we should not be looking at the issue in a way that because this one is my brother, because this one is my party person. Many people bluntly support issue because you are APC member, you support your APC member. You are PDP member, you support PDP. No, when we talk about issues of justice and fairness, somebody raised a very fundamental issue. And the same Senate President, if you can recall, when he was the Minister of Niger Delta Affair, when former President Buhari appointed Joy Nime to be the acting Managing Director of Niger Delta Development Commission, something happened. This woman cried out that Akpabio also harassed her. He couldn't the same issue. Then she slapped him at that time. Because now people are saying that Matata issue, where is the evidence? Because that issues of the former acting director of NDDC, Joy Nime, slapped Akpabio. Akpabio cannot deny that she did not slap him. The next thing they do was that he questioned her credibility. That she does not have the capacity to be the MD of the NDDC, or she should go for training or whatever. So sometimes when issues are being raised, you as an accuser, you cannot be a judge on your own case. That's why some of us in our opinion say that if truly they want to investigate the sexual harassment, first of all, the committee could have looked at the issues. Why did they rush the issues? The next thing we see is suspension. Then suspending her for 6 months. Which is mean it is not Matasa Apotu Duan you are suspending. You are suspending the entire Kogi Central District, which was representing. It is people sent out to that place. Why will you send them? The next thing you see again, the committee chairman with own sense of responsibility wake up and said the salary for all our hate is behold. What kind of thing is that? So which is mean because you have issue with the senator. What even those staffs, they are staff of the National Assembly. They are under the National Assembly Service Commission. So they are all allocated for senator to work with. So when you say because of that, okay, for instance now, if, for instance, I'm just citing the example now, if Akpabio and Tinubu have an issue, then Tinubu now say nobody in the National Assembly should be paid. Is that possible? It's not so why will you be doing something in such an illegality? Senators are elected. And sometimes I wonder, this 10th Senate President, every time we are hearing issues of argument, do you also remember what happened to Erene, the one that representing the Abuja senator, when she cried out that when the present FCT minister go ahead and start demolition of houses, because he's the one that represents Abuja, she raised the issue in National Assembly. What did they do? They blockadly refused to listen to her motion. She walked out of the Senate. These are issues. So when you look one after another, some people are now saying, now you now organize people said the Senate President is a good man. When I was a governor, I was friendly to gender equality. When I was minister, no, that's not the issue. We are talking about the present issue. What is your part? How do you defend yourselves? Somebody has said you will intentionally do something sexual advancement. Then why are you not talking about the issue of that?
But let's get it from this perspective now. Apart from the fact that you were saying, because the committee said they've done their investigation and they came up with their final.
What investigation? No, what investigation? Investigation that they lost. So when you say you want to do investigation, this is a public issue. a Senate President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria has been accused of sexual harassment. The Senate Committee on Ethics and Privileges and Public Petition did not do any investigation, if you ask me.
But let's look at it from this angle now. You know, Natasha, first of all, what she was holding to was the change of seats. She never complained to the Ethics, Privilege and Public Hearing Committee of any sexual harassment until she went to the media, and it was on one of the media houses that she publicly said she's been harassed, and she talked of how they were in the Senate President's house, how the President told her one or two things. Why not present this issue to the Senate instead of, first of all, saying in the media, before the Senate heard from the media, before you reverted to the Senate to go and write petition accusing the Senate President of sexual allegation? Why not first report to the National Assembly authorities, to the committee probably, before going on the media? You went on the media, then because you've said it in the media, you now came back to say it in the National Assembly, meaning the media is more important than the National Assembly?
You see, my brother, the most important thing in this life is that in every social action, there is a cause. When you look at the historical background of Natasha Akpotu-Uduaghan and the Senate President, they are very close people, very close. Our own husband, Chief Emmanuel Uduaghan, very close to Akpabio. Are you hearing me? So she also make a very, very fantastic argument that when she see that the Senate President is not treating her like somebody that's close because he has something in his mind, based on her explanation, she told her husband that this is what your brother and your friend is doing to me. Please go and talk to him. Then the husband went to go and see Senate President in London. Can't you read what the husband said? The husband also issued a statement that the Senate President should accord his wife with respect. That what is going on, he was not too happy with it. So now the looking at issue is that she's a woman. You know how women react emotionally. She feels that she has been oppressed. So the extent of when somebody is closer to you, to your house, and the same person is now oppressed, it's better somebody is not close to you oppress you than somebody close to you. So she feel embarrassed, she's feel intimidated. So on that issue, if you look at it very well critically, that the Senate President did not handle the matter very well. She was raising an order that as Mr. Senate President, order 10, he said I would let them walk out of the Senate or not run. Every senator is elected through the same process, the same way. And now you also make a statement as a Senate President that people that did not pass through process, that passed through court to National Assembly, should not supposed to be, they're supposed to go for ethics and privilege, for orientation and whatever. And you, Senate President, did you contest election? You contest president. You contest president against the president under APC. Under the APC primary, you come to say, okay, Tinubu is your brother and Tinubu is somebody that you believe that you are supporting Tinubu. You withdraw your ambition. And then other person contest that the same position in Akwa Ibom State. They go back door and negotiate. The person now withdraw. He becomes the president. Which shows that he himself did not directly contest the election. So if you are pointing finger on somebody, you have to look around too. What we are trying to say here is that issues of justice should not be buried under the carpet, because women need to their voice should not be cowed down the Senate. Out of 109 senators, we have only 4 women, then 105 men senators. Invariably, if Natasha did not speak out now, somebody, former senator from Kogi, from Kaduna, he make a statement that house, if you blow some issues, you will find yourself to be blamed, that nobody in that house will support you. Which shows that why is it like that? I'm coming. That's what which shows that the Nigerian House of the National Assembly, is it a courtesy? Is making a call that people have elected you to represent them. And are you working for their own personal interests or they are working for the interests of the nation? As a National Assembly, they were all elected as senators to make law. And this law should be made to bring positive change in the life of the people. We are talking about, as it is the country, we are talking about economic issues, talking about insecurity, talking about high prices of food in the market. These people are not talking about all of those things. They are just bringing issue or necessary issue that does not concern anybody. So what I'm trying to say here is that these Nigeria senators should know that they were all elected to represent the interests of east of the Central District. That even that suspension, look at the committee chairman, a whole committee chairman, responsibility, you have asked one question, that she did not complain. She also wrote a petition back again after the whole issue. She submitted, and she even take the matter to court. The matter that is in court, they quickly, what they normally try to do was that if we did not silence this woman now, this woman is going to expose us a lot of things. So let us quickly do a kangaroo investigation and begin to suspend her for 6 months. As if that was not enough.
But in the book of the Senate, they say if a case is in court, they don't have the prerogative to preside over it
at all. But which means, look at it now.
It means for Natasha to submit that petition, it means the case is not in court.
The case is in a court. Some people are raising motion that you are in the National Assembly. Did you submit these issues of sexual harassment, whatever? And before this, you have already go to court. If you say you are looking at the rule of the law of the Senate, the rule of the law is it supersede the 1999 Constitution. So if the Constitution of Nigeria, the 1999 Constitution supersedes every other thing, every other law that is not from the 1999 Constitution is null and void. What I'm trying to explain here is that very simple term, that the senators did what they did in order to cow down the woman for 6 months, so that voice will not come out. Unknown to them that if even this has also implicated the committee chairman, his inability to be the committee chairman of the Ethics and Privilege and Public Pension. They give you a committee work to do. So because the Senate president nominated you to be the committee chairman, you are afraid to do judgment because you know that if you did not do the judgment in favor of him, you will make a face of reality. That shows that is
okay. We are going on a quick break. We're talking about the Natasha and Akpabio saga. Developments from the incidents still coming up in the media. We'll have our guests join us as we talk more about these issues. There is a question that we'll be asking after this break, very vital and pertinent, and that will be after the break. Stay with us.
That global television can be watched in Nigeria and all over the world.
Download the Global TV Nigerian mobile app for Android and iOS devices to watch global television real-time from around the world. What are you waiting for?
Start downloading and stay connected to global television.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily, while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
A Global Morning aims to deliver newspaper reviews and latest news with experts on key global issues.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Mondays to Sundays to a wide range of the latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
We're on the road to protest. The president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning.
Welcome back from that break. Of course, we're talking about the Natasha and, of course, Akpabio feud going on in the National Assembly. And we have Adams Mabo join us right here to talk about the situation, the developing stories from that incident. Now, let's get to the next question, because it is an allegation. And some people are saying this is a sexual harassment allegation. Hardly you can get a proof to it. Then, one of the things that stood out in that whole conversation, especially when it was in the media that Natasha has gone to court, the wife of the Senate president also came out to say, I know my husband, who is, she's the #1 member of the constituency. She said, I know my husband value women. I can't do a thing like that. Then the Senate president in some publications have said, well, I and my siblings were well raised by my single mother, and we respect women, and we respect womanhood and all of that. And of course, now that the wife of the Senate president has spoken as the #1 witness, don't you think that the case should just die a natural death?
The case dies in a natural death. You see, as a woman, you cannot vow for your husband. You can only vow for your husband the present is with you. It's a human being. So for the extent of even involving herself, this is an issue that she's supposed to remain silent and observe. She's trying to defend her husband, yes, of course, but that's not the issue. Defending your husband in such a way that also to saying that she know her husband very well. Is it the same father, the same mother give birth to them? They are not husband and wife. She cannot totally to say
husband and wife are even closer than siblings.
Yeah, they are closer than siblings. But what I'm saying is that did she have a detector that monitor him anywhere he go? Did she have that detector that monitor anywhere he go? So what she can even see, she's supposed to be peace broker, because she knows very well that her husband is a very close friend to Natasha's husband and Natasha too. They are like family. This issue an issue that could have not even come to public, but Natasha felt that somebody she knew is the one that is intimidating her. So if you check it very well, when you have your close friend that's supposed to be in charge and power, everybody in Nigeria, you know how Nigeria is. When your brother is the president of the country, you feel that anything you want, your brother is there, you will get it. But when your brother is the president and your brother that's supposed to support you in some things, you now feel being oppressed. You now feel your friend, you now feel being intimidated. You will react. That's what happened. If you check very well, Natasha's issue with Senate president is a very clear issue that Natasha felt that the closeness you have, her husband have with the Senate president, and as the Senate president is supposed to be a backbone to her in the process of subjugating her, process of suppressing her. That's why also she now look at it that you have already made such things to me before. So if everyone to blow, let everything blow out. If anyone to destroy the friendship, let destroy the friendship. That's what's going on. It's just a personal issue that turned to national discourse today. What I'm trying to say here is that the Senate President, Senator Godswill Akpabio, did not handle this matter in a very wise way. Is the cause of whatever thing that's going on. If he knew, as a close friend to his Natata husband, she can even call the husband and told him that, please, my brother, this is what your wife is doing. Let's settle. What is the difference? What is happening between us? We are friends. So if friends can able to build themselves in the public, then there's something wrong somewhere. So what I'm trying to say here again is that Nigeria is having a lot of issue. Nigerian senators will look at issues that are affecting Nigerians. Unnecessary issue, that is not what will bring food to the table of unemployed Nigeria youth. That is not what will make Nigeria to happy. Let me tell you, people are suffering in this country. People are suffering. And for to make us understand that the Senate Committee on Ethics and Privilege, the chairman did not do well. In such allegation, you stand on neutral. You stand on neutral to give a very clear investigation for the world to see. If Natasha is lying, Runamokri say something. I listen to Runamokri. He said that there is what they call dictator. If they use dictator to investigate whether Natasha is lying, they will definitely get the truth. Which my concern here is that they did not do proper investigation as a committee, Senate Committee on Ethics and Privilege, and finally suspend her for 6 months. If that need be, to suspend a sitting senator is 14 days, not 6 months. The suspension of a senator, a sitting senator, is 14 days. If really they want to suspend her because of, say, she go against the rule of the house, it could have been 14 days. What of the 6 months for? What are the 6 months for? To the extent of withdrawing even the benefit of the staff of National Assembly attached to Natasha. So which shows that it is a deliberate things they are doing. Which shows that all of this is just like a penalty to punish. Let us punish her. If she wants to show stubbornness, let us deal with her. Let her know that she has no power to defend herself. We should not operate like that as people. Everybody in the Senate were elected equally, given issue of certificate of return by the same Independent Electoral Commission, voted by their own senatorial district. So nobody has right over anybody. So the suspensions could have also been 14 days, not 6 months. That's 6 months. I listened to Falana. Falana was saying that if they did not reinstate her back, they will take them to court, which is more litigation are coming on the way. The most important thing I advise the Senate President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Chief Godswill Akpabio, to be very, very conscious about this issue.
The same thing, I think the same thing, the same word, cautious, is the same word Saraki used. And this is about the second time Saraki is making a statement about it. The first time he spoke, he said, well, this is all about the institution, that's the National Assembly, but not all about individuals, because this is putting Nigeria on a bad light on the global map, the global world, on the map of the world. And now, let's talk about SERAP now, okay? SERAP say they are going to sue. That's I'm talking about the Socio-Economic Right and Accountability Project. They are saying they will sue the National Assembly, okay, of Akpabio himself, if they don't call off the suspension. Do you think this, because what we are saying now is everybody is trying to see how this issue can be resolved, okay? Apart from them, Falana also made a statement, like you just said, and everyone is ready to go to court. As it is right now, what do you think of intervention from these people? Is the intervention necessary, or why do we need this intervention?
The intervention is very necessary. The Senate President should be very, very tactic in this issue as the leader, the presiding officer of the House, and discuss as family. Discuss as family. What did I mean? Because these issues that they blow out, a lot of people are taking advantage of it to bring him down. He should know that. And he also know that there are a lot of people who are looking at that office of the Senate President. People are looking by every slight mistake to bring him down. He should be very, very cautious of what is happening, and then they should reinstate Natasha back to her position, and give her every benefit she needed, and let Natasha also, for her hard boss, also to apologize to the Nigeria Senate, because the senators who were being managing the Ethic and Privilege Committee did not do their work very well. That's why you see that a lot of people are coming in. They now perceive injustice, and this injustice to one is injustice to all. People felt that because she's a woman, people felt that because she don't have anybody to defend her, or people felt that because the Senate President is close to Mr. President, that's why he's doing all of this. So what is right is right. The Senate President should remove every egocentric attitude. He should know that he's representing Nigerians. He should know that he's the number 3 of the country. He should also realize that he has daughters. Like what is always said, nobody will intimidate his daughter that will like it. The most important thing that the suspension of Natasha Akpotu is not just her, but you are also punishing her staffs, also punishing the Kogi Central people. This is not the way to do law. If truly they want to even look at this matter, that they want to prove Natasha wrong, they could have done a proper investigation. Panel will be set, and then it will be live broadcast, and let her provide the evidence to say how did the Senate President sexually harass you. If she can able to defend herself clearly, and when they find out that she was doing a merry allegation, then she face the punishment, rather than taking quick aspect to overcome the issues and to run away with the issues of reality that is on ground. So the Senate President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Chief Godswill Akpabio, should go back to an in-house way to settle this matter between him and Natasha Akpotu and with their husband, because they are very close friends. People who knows them know they are very close friends. They are very, very close friends. Anywhere you see Akpabio, you will see her husband. Even when Akpabio was a governor in Akwa Ibom State, they will be a good friend forever. Even when he became a Senate President. Even when the issue happened, when Akpabio were having issues with the Niger Delta people, because when he was a minister of Niger Delta Affairs, when he refused to nominate the name of the people that are supposed to be in the board of Nigeria Development Corporation, people protested against him. The same Chief Emmanuel Udua, who came to intervene, be a peace broker to bring peace at that time. See, somebody have sacrificed for you, there is no way you pay that person back. So Akpabio should remember that there was a time Akpotu Udua husband stood by him in the process of tribulation, in the process of fighting. He brought peace to the Akpabio. So Akpabio should not just destroy relationship because of power. Power is transit. It will come, it will go. But friendship, good friendship continue. That is life. So what I'm trying to say here is that the only way to bring this issue to in a peaceful manner is for the Senate to reinstate her back. Reinstate her back, let her go back to her position.
Remember, her privileges are also being striped. She's not going to get her allowance.
And you know that they also buried her that she should not close the National Assembly. She should not even address herself as a senator. Are you not aware? Even the president of this country, His Excellency Ahmed Bola Tinubu, people see addressing Senator Ahmed Bola Tinubu. That is an elected position that you cannot say you bury that person. No, now it's impossible. A governor is a former governor is a governor. A former senator is a senator.
See, all right, Comrade Mambo, let's talk about this now. A lot of people think the federal government would have intervened in this case before now, but then it's like the federal government is yet to take a stand.
I listened to the Minister for Women Affairs. She has given assurance that the matter is already in the hand of the federal government, and they are also looking for a way how to resolve this issue. I listened to her, and when I listened to what she was saying, I now know that we have a woman who is the Minister for Women Affairs. So when somebody is speaking, it does not matter how where the person is. You read the body language of the person. You study how the word is coming out from the person. Which I listened to all her speech, which shows that the present Minister for Women Affairs, she's a very credible and woman of integrity. So we applaud her for standing on the matter to say that what affects women affect our ministry, because we are talking about women senator, and our ministry is to protect and defend the interests of Nigeria women, both locally and internationally, which I mean based on our statement that federal government has intervened They are looking for how to resolve the issue between Senator Natasha Akpotu-Uduaghan and the Senate President Chief Godswill Ubom Akpabio. So finally, what I can say is that Nigeria is facing a lot of issues. The Nigeria as a government, as a federal system of government, they have three arms of government. This three arm of government, the judicial arm of government, the legislative arm of government, and the executive arm of government. All of them has their own function to play. Like what the former president of the United States of America, Abraham Lincoln, said. Abraham Lincoln said that democracy is the government of the people, by the people, and for the people. Which means that there are three legs that in democracy. This three legs are the legislative arm of government, the executive arm of government, and the judicial arm of government. So the legislative arm of government is responsible to make law for the citizens of the country. And those laws sent to the judicial interpret those laws for the favor of the people. And then the executive implement and execute those laws to become law for the people. If that there is a check and balance between the three arms of government. So those who have been elected to represent the people, they should know that they were elected to represent people, not for their own personal interest. Whatever thing they are doing there is for the sake of the country, and they should protect the image of this country, Nigeria.
But there is this belief. A lot of people have this belief in Nigeria here that since anyone is in power, they have the authority. Even the judiciary going to court. Remember what happened in 2023? A lot of people won elections from the courts, you know, because there was a slogan, "Go to court." There is this belief. People don't so much believe in the court anymore. Now Natasha and even the judiciary setup said we want to go to court. Falana is a son, is a lawyer. Everyone wants to go to court. Even Natasha Akpotu-Uduaghan herself, the case in court and all of that, even though she said it's not been called before the petition was accepted at the Senate. Now, do you think the judiciary can handle this? Because we're talking about people in power here, and you know how the judiciary system is right now. I'm saying this because we talked about the fact that the three arms of the government will have to work together. But some people feel that some Nigerians feel they've been compromised and they could still be compromised.
Let me tell you, there is a general saying, the court is the hope of the common man.
But is it still the hope of the common man?
I can tell you that the court is the hope of the common man. A system cannot totally bad. No matter whether people criticize the court system, there are still genuine lawyers, there are still genuine judges. The only thing is that when you carry your case to judges that does not have integrity, they cannot even build his own reputation, you exchange hand to do what is like. But there are some judges that when the case comes to their table, they will stand to do the right thing because they know that they are there to do the right thing. They know the implication of doing wrong thing at the end of their services to the country. Do you know a lot of people suffer at the end of serving government because of the atrocity they have committed? People curse them, people pray against them. So the people they have oppressed come to, let me tell you, Martin Luther King Jr. says, universe is always on the side of justice. You can use your power to oppress A or B, but can you oppress nation? The answer is no. So you can do that moment. That is called temporary power. Power is transit. So the most important thing that no matter how people criticize the judicial system, there are still genuine. There are still committed judges. There are still sincere judges. There are still judges that still believe that the rule of law should be protected. So I believe the judicial system is still the hope of the common man. And with how it is, I believe that the court will do justice and the justice will still prevail. Do you not see that some people who pass through the back door to get their judgment, at the end they still have problem? So which means that we cannot totally say the judicial system of Nigeria is corrupt. Because it's corrupt, then there is no good one. And a whole family cannot be bad people. In the family there can be bad people, there can become people, there can people who stand for truth. So I believe the whole system can never be corrupt. So the judicial arm of government, there are still good people. The legislative arm of government, there are still good people. And the executive arm of government, there are still good people. That's why people like us must continue to observe and continue to monitor the system, criticize what is not good, and appraise what is good, and then we can be able to get where we are going. I believe Nigeria belongs to all of us, and we must stand up to against injustice. We must stand up against every oppressive nation. People should not use power to oppress the powerless. And I believe that these people were elected to the president. Do you know that everybody cannot occupy office at the same time? That is why the system was set up in this particular way, whereby president will be elected, maybe 20, 10 persons will contest it, everybody cannot be president at the same time. One person must be occupy that position. So what I'm trying to say is that if you are a president, when you use your offices to oppress the innocent one, you will still get the repercussion. You cannot be free.
You cannot be free if you use your office to oppress the poor. Like I said before we got started on this program, I was saying leadership is servanthood. You are actually meant to serve the people, leading them, taking them to a particular destination. You are a youth leader, as a matter of fact. Let's look at this situation critically right now. As a youth leader that you are, all right, as a youth leader, now, we're talking about senators here. There are a lot of people that are not satisfied with what senators are doing. All right. Is there a way? And something happened when Senator Natasha was going to submit her petition. When was going to submit her petition, something happened. That there were protests, people came to protest and all of that. Is that the best way to go? Protest, people coming to say, well, Akpabio must go, we must remove Akpabio and all of that. As a youth leader, which is the best way, all right, to approach situations like that? If a senator, you are not satisfied with what a senator is doing at the National Assembly, what is the best thing to do?
The best thing is not to cause conflict in the street. We must be diplomatic in every actions as youth. And like what I always say, as a president of the Niger Delta Progressive Youth Leadership Foundation, the essence of this organization is to enlighten the youth, upgrading them to understand youth leadership. Some people say youth are the leaders of tomorrow. In our own knowledge and understanding, we say youth are leaders of today, not leaders of tomorrow. So I believe the best way to address it, some people capitalize on these issues to sponsor people, to cause problem. Akpabio must go, this must happen. That is not the best way to go. We must look at the issues first, and then what way can we be able to solve this issue? And you are aware that some people go to National Assembly gate, they were all tear gassed by Nigeria police because of the pressure that we are coming in. So we cannot continue to operate the same way and get different result. We should change our mentality. If issues is happening, you can stay inside your parlor and invite media people to speak about the issue without going to the street. You can go to a befitting place and organize yourself as a youth and discuss about the issue. And we do that also in our organization. We did that. We went to places and then look at the issues and also to raise our issues of concern. So which I believe that our youth in this country, Nigeria, we must all wake up and think about how the betterment of this country. Those people who are senator there, are you aware that Natasha spent only 1 year? Look at the project she carried out in Kogi Center. People were so happy. There are some senators who have spent more than 20 years, spent than 16 years, spent more than 8 years in that Senate. They have not even got anything. They haven't even called a single meeting about their people. So leadership is all about servant. You must serve your people.
Okay. Leadership is all about servanthood. I must keep talking about that. It has been Adam Mabo, of course, many thanks for joining us today. Time will not allow us to continue. There are so many questions to ask because of the developing stories from the drama at the National Assembly between Senator Natasha representing Kogi Central and of course the Senate President Godswill Akpabio. But then reactions are still coming. Serap is taking action, and of course the former Senate President Bukola Saraki is also making statements. And that's not all. Falana also made a statement this morning, and everything is tilting towards Natasha should be called from suspension, and the suspension shouldn't even last more than 14 days as enshrined in the books. Let's just keep our fingers crossed. The Minister of Women Affairs have said there is going to be an intervention from the federal government, or probably the intervention is already going on. Let's wait for the outcome of this and just hold our peace. And of course, people will keep saying what they want to say, but at the end of the day, we want peace to reign. Many thanks for joining us once again.
Thank you. God bless you.
Right, this is the size of the first conversation, and of course we'll return after this break to hit the road running for the second conversation. What are we talking about? You need to know that the local government autonomy that was given despite the verdict from the court of law has not been implemented, and right now Algon is saying we can't keep quiet anymore. Let's see what will come of that, and all of that will be coming up after this break. Stay with us.
Know that global television can be watched in Nigeria and all over the world.
Download the Global TV Nigerian mobile app for Android and iOS devices to watch global television real-time from around the world. What are you waiting for?
Start downloading and stay connected to global television.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
A Global Morning aims to deliver newspaper reviews and latest news with experts on key global issues,
and at the same time keeping you well informed about important events, both national and international.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Mondays to Sundays to a wide range of the latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
We're on the road to protest. The president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning.
Welcome back from that heated first conversation. It's all about the drama at the Senate that is done and dusted. But then, like I said in the prelude before we went on that break, as a matter of fact, the local government is not settled at this point in time, because we don't even know precisely where their fund is coming from right now. Is it still the old way after the court judgment? Now, the Association of Local Governments of Nigeria has gone to court. Okay, they say they will go to court. They are suing the federal government and the state. They don't really understand what's going on. And as a matter of fact, that's going to be what we'll talk about today. Local government autonomy are going to go to court over fact sharing. And my guest today is a legal practitioner, Barrister Chuks Akamado. Is joining us for the conversation. It's good to have you in the studio this morning.
Thank you very much. I'm pleased to be here.
Well, I don't even know how the local government is functioning right now. After the verdict from the Supreme Court, till now, there's not been a proper implementation. We heard some times back that the central bank was asking for a 2-year audited account, and then later on, we also heard that some of the accounts need some things to be done. There are some discrepancies that needs to be corrected. All this, the local government feel is excuses that, well, you've not been giving me money. I have been sourcing for my money, the funding has been coming, whatever comes from the state, whether or not it's anything to write home about. We managed to run what we are running. Why are you asking us for detailed account? We'll present it. Everything has been done, and up till now, there is no implementation. Now they are going to court. You think that's the right way to go?
Well, first, as a lawyer, I'm a bit taken aback because when the Supreme Court rules on a matter, it's supposed to be final. I take it that there are some administrative bottlenecks that have hindered the implementation of the ruling of the Supreme Court. And if there are administrative bottlenecks, I think they should be approached administratively. I do not understand the basis for the legal action that Algon wants to take, because the Supreme Court of the land has ruled. And if the Supreme Court of the land has ruled, it's supposed to be implemented immediately. I have not read anywhere where the Supreme Court gave a time frame for the implementation of that, its ruling. And if the Supreme Court has ruled, I don't understand why implementation should be a challenge. So again, this throws up the question around how the three arms of government interface and ensure that justice is done in this country. The judiciary has done its bit by interpreting the law, and then it is the duty of the executive to execute the law. I mean, the ruling of the Supreme Court was without ambiguity. I do not understand the recourse to the court again by Algon. It should be a fait accompli that the ruling of the Supreme Court should be implemented wholly. So whatever it is that is stopping that from happening is unfortunate and a national embarrassment. It ridicules us before the Committee of Nations, and then raises the question as to whether really we are practicing democracy in this part of the world.
All right, let's look at some very salient issues right now. Just like you said, well, the Supreme Court have ruled. Why still go to court? Which of the court will you take the case to right now? So what exactly? It's been over more than 6 months now that ruling came, as the case may be. What do you think Algon should do? We're talking about the Association of Local Government of Nigeria. What should they do? What would they have done?
Yes, it is simple. We have the Chief Law Officer of the land, who happens to be the Honorable Attorney General and Minister of Justice. It is the Honorable Attorney General and Minister of Justice that should be approached in this instance, and with the Supreme Court ruling. And you approach the Chief Law Enforcement Officer of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and plead your case. Yes, the Attorney General and the Minister of Honorable Attorney General and Minister of Justice, it has all the powers to ensure enforcement of that judgment of the Supreme Court of Nigeria. So that's why I said I don't understand why they are approaching a court for implementation of a ruling, a verdict that has been delivered by the apex court in the land, which is the Supreme Court of Nigeria. Approach the office of the Honorable Attorney General and Minister of Justice. I can assure you that Honorable Attorney General, who happens to occupy the office that represents the executive in this regard, would cause actions to be taken in that regard, because we don't understand it.
But are you sure they've not done that? Now, peradventure they've done that, and maybe nothing has happened? Because I don't think
you cannot say nothing has happened. We cannot. We cannot have
to implement.
No. We cannot have a Supreme Court judgment that is subject to individual interpretation. It's the Supreme Court that has ruled. You don't have to like it. Whichever office, whichever institution that is saddled with the responsibility of implementation has a sacred obligation. There's no discretionary power to exercise. There's no discretionary right to exercise. In that circumstance, that's what I'm saying. That's why I say this is very, very embarrassing. It brings the country very low. This shouldn't have arisen at all. It is a shame, a collective one, that the three arms of government should be worried about. You have the legislature, theirs is to make the laws, right? Yeah. You have the judiciary, theirs is to interpret the laws. And you have the executive, theirs is to implement the laws. And I'm saying in this instance that the judiciary has interpreted the law. And the interpretation of the judiciary is final in this particular instance, because it's the Supreme Court that has ruled on it. So the executive has a sacred duty, a constitutional obligation to implement it, ensure its implementation. That's why I said that the right office to approach is the Honorable Attorney General, Minister of Justice's office. But it's something with the responsibility of ensuring compliance.
Do you sense some form of foul plays from the governors in this delay of implementation? Because you know what happened. First of all, they were taken to court. The federal government took the state governors to court, and that case was won. In the first place, they never wanted it. Can we still, in a way, say maybe there are some forces behind fighting this case?
It's apparent that they are politicizing this whole thing. You have 2027 around the corner, and I imagine that our politicians, being who they are, might be looking at loopholes here and there. If they don't find any, they are ingenious enough to create some. Do you understand? To see how they can juggle with all of this in order to preserve their entrenched political interest at the to the detriment of the people, and particularly this instance, the third tier of government, which is the local government. And that's why I'm saying that whatever politics that they are trying to introduce into this otherwise straightforward affair, that Algon should have approached the office of the Honorable Attorney General and Minister of Justice to ask why this Supreme Court ruling hasn't been implemented fully.
All right, as it is right now, some persons were even saying the federal government wouldn't have even waited for Algon to even take action in the first place, since they were the ones that were in support of the local government autonomy, and their role was very pronounced, and Nigerians loved it when the case was won from the court. But then the federal government won the case from the court, and the Supreme Court gave the verdict. Do you think the federal government wouldn't have been silent also? Just like you took a case to the court, the case was being won, and somebody has refused to implement that case. Will you sit down and just watch and wait for the person who owned the case, for whom you actually spearheaded the case, fight it all alone?
Of course, I do not rule out the possibility of complicity on the part of the federal government, because it's mind-boggling that they are keeping quiet. That's why I said, and to approach the federal government, which is the executive arm, that's why I said that Algon should have taken the battle to their bare mouths. Yes, by approaching the office of the Honorable Attorney General and Minister of Justice, to hear from them. It's when they take this to them and we do not get a feedback that is reasonable, a feedback that makes sense to the average Nigerian, that we should not shout and say that it's a deliberate attempt to actually truncate our democracy. Yes, that is what we are headed for. I would want to give them benefit of the doubt, the federal government. That was why I talked about maybe administrative bottlenecks and all of that. Yes, I tried giving them that benefit of the doubt. But I'm saying that Algon, if they were well advised, the right thing to my mind would have been to approve the office of the Honorable Attorney General and Minister of Justice and say, okay, you actually went for this matter and you have procured a verdict that is favorable to us, and this verdict is not being implemented. Why? Whatever official response Algon gets from the office of Honorable Attorney General and Minister of Justice will not be a basis for us to draw inference and begin to reach certain conclusions. But until that, that's why I don't understand why they're going to court over a matter that Supreme Court has ruled on. I don't know whether you agree with it.
All right, barrister.
Yes,
I'm so glad that you are a barrister, and this question I think has been of concern to Nigerians. This is not the first time court judgment is not being adhered to in Nigeria. This has happened over and over and over again. Why do we have that? Because any verdict coming from the court, okay, if you're not appealing it, it should be adhered to. Okay, it should be carried out to the letter, because this is a judgment coming from the court of law. Why have we had people refusing to carry out judgment or verdicts from the court in Nigeria?
You see, that phenomenon in this part of the world is emblematic of a struggling democracy. A struggling democracy in the sense that in the latter part of Africa, you will find that you have stronger individuals than we have stronger institutions. These things are supposed to be automatic. These things are supposed to be automated. They are not supposed to be within the realm of discretionary powers or rights of government functionaries. When the Supreme Court, or when a court, like I said, when a court rules and it's yet to be appealed, the right thing is, since it's enforcement. Enforcement is supposed to be automatic. Do you understand? And that's why, like I said, it ridicules the society, it ridicules our legal system and all of that. And that's why I'm saying situations, very ugly situations such as this should be followed through to the latter, so that we can get to a point where negligent or complicit officers or functionaries of government will be called out, will be exposed and equally punished, so that will now serve as a deterrent to others afterwards. That's why I said this matter, as ugly as it seems, I also like it because it will help us get to the root of this matter. It will also help to forestall its reoccurrence or the occurrence of similar situations in the future. So let these people approach the office of the Honorable Attorney General and Minister of Justice. Let us hear what that office has to say. It will help us, like I said, to reach very rational conclusions. That way we will be able to separate facts from fiction. That way we will be armed with evidence, unimpeachable evidence, to say Mr. A, Mr. B is complicit, then Mr. C, Mr. D should be exculpated from this.
All right, Barrister, we're rounding up now. I'm taking you back to the last question again. You know, I don't know, is NBA, because it ridicules the system, and if a system is being ridiculed, I don't see the importance of that system if the system itself is quiet. Is NBA doing anything about this issue of court judgments not being enforced?
You see, you just mentioned the NBA. Ordinarily, one would expect, by the very nature and core functions of the NBA, that NBA should take more than a passing interest in matters such as this. But again, Algon, who are the ultimate beneficiaries of that judgment, should have also looked in that direction, knowing full well that NBA is a very formidable pressure group, as it were, in this kind of situation. Why not approach NBA to say, come on, this is what is happening here? I'm saying that Algon, I'm not saying that Algon also has a duty to approach formidable consequential institutions such as NBA in an event where NBA has not lived up to the people's expectations. Okay. Do you understand? As a matter of advocacy, right advocacy steps and all of that, it wouldn't have helped Algon to also approach NBA. Do you understand what I'm saying? It wouldn't have helped Algon to approach NBA. It wouldn't have helped Algon to approach the body of bench. It wouldn't have the critical stakeholders within the legal system, do you understand, should have been sensitized so that everybody will know that, come on, this is a collective affront to our domain, the legal profession, and all of that. And if we don't join our run to fight this seeming injustice, it will also ridicule us individually as professionals and ridicule our profession itself.
All right. I think the major role right now is left in the hands of ALGON and the federal government. Approach the necessary authorities that will make this enforcement possible. The Supreme Court have given the judgment. NBA too, I think they need to rise to the occasion, because this is not the first time a court judgment is being I don't know, I don't want to use the word ridicule, because for me, if a Supreme Court or a court of that pedigree, the apex court for that matter, pass a judgment, and one individual or an institution or a body of persons is refusing its implementation and enforcement, then it doesn't speak well of our country as a people. Many thanks for coming on the program this morning. By this time will not allow us to continue because the program is becoming very, very, very interesting, and the conversation is heated up right now, but we'll have to stop here because of our time. Many thanks for joining us on the conversation this morning.
Thanks for inviting me.
All right, this is the size of Global Morning for today, and this is the second discussion. Global Morning today has been so exceptional because of the nature of discussions that we've had. This is the kind of discussion we bring to the fore so that you can be informed about and educated on very sensitive issues and matters that concerns us as a people and a nation. Thank you for being part of the program this morning. Global Morning will come on your way again, same time, same station tomorrow. My name is Ramsey Enoch Agbo. Bye-bye for now.
Welcome to Global Morning.
Death toll from flooding.
Most time our politicians just bring in policies too, for sure. If you don't say we have several more stories.
The legislature was carefully crafted with
22.2% inflation rate as of April this year. What does that say about where we are as a country?
I think Nigeria has resorted to being resilient.
Before you call the police station, before they even leave, they take permission from
I don't think there's really anything on ground to improve.
The struggle, the ASU strike.
Education volunteered and said, give me 2 weeks.
It was a life. The president never gave me any deadline.